And we are live. Let me actually try to get the focus in right. There we go. We are live. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hello, 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 hello. So make sure that I'm testing the mic. Make sure everybody's hearing me. What's going on, everyone? It's your boy O.Javier.tv. Welcome to another episode of the live stream. It has been just like you guys have imagined, it has been a hectic week, a hectic month, really, or beginning of the month. Because I'm still not fully in May mode yet, but I'm slowly getting there. Probably get there by the end of the month. Um, a lot of awesome things happening. The one thing that I have to give it up for and kind of give tribute to, almost like the unsung hero, is my good friend right here, 70 to 200 millimeter Sigma. This lens is an absolute monster. Absolute monster. I've spoken about her before, but and yes, I'm referring to her in the female form. But it's just not only in the video aspect of it, but um, in the way it takes pictures and how far away I was from the subject and to how crisp it is. And now, granted, this is um, I actually haven't had or actually I haven't worked with an L series 70 to 200, but as you can see, all these little buttons right here, you know, there's focus. You could go from auto focus to manual or MO, which I'm sure it's a manual option, but it's like if you have it set in a specific focus, it'll stay there locked in, almost like if you had it automatic. Um, but then what happens is if you actually touch the focus ring, it changes. So it gives you that flexibility. Um, and you could put like a couple of different, it has like two custom modes that you could use. Um, there's so many different things. I think the only downside of this one is that uh when you change the zoom from 70 to 200, the part that you switch is this one right here all the way at the end, and then the focus ring is right here. It would be a lot better if it was the other way around, but it's not. And actually, it doesn't even matter. Even just this ring right here itself, that you could actually flip this around, is just worth it enough. That is a game changer right there. But anyways, um, I've been working a lot on sports and sports capturing uh, subjects that move fast and capturing that in time. And there's one way of doing it on, with photography and all that. But then there's another way to when you're actually filming these subjects. And, there's a debate. It's like, well, there was a debate between the people I was shooting with. It's like, all right, so this is the scenario. Let me know if you have any take on it. Write down in the comments later, whatever. If the sub you're trying to let's say you're trying to record a subject, it's on a full, let's use football, it's not a full football field, it's half a football field, nowhere nearly as wide. um do you go with a 70 to 200 to film, right? And obviously it's to tell photo lens, it's not a wide lens. Or do you actually choose more of a wider aperture, well, not aperture, but a wider focal length, which it would be either a 24 millimeter to potentially a 16 millimeter. And you, granted, you want to get specific shots and specific moments, and you could possibly use these, and it goes back to the age old, how and what format do we film in to incorporate it and use and repurpose, or have the option to repurpose your content. What do you choose? Do you choose the telephoto one because you're further away and you get more of a chance to close in on the subject, or do you go for a wider focal length and perhaps not get as up close and personal as a telephoto lens, but at least you have a wider field of range? what do you choose? And what is, I think the argument or the counter argument, I want to say argument, counter argument, yeah, but the argument is if you go for the telephoto length, um, especially if the subject is a lot further away, moving very, very fast, there is a lot of or a lot more room for the subject to lose focus. So you get that nasty pull, unless you shoot manual. But let's face it, most of us, especially in those type of situations, are shooting in automatic focus. Well, at least I am. Well, it makes more sense that way. But if I was to do that and choose automatic focus, what do I do to avoid keeping that in and out of focus? Um, Practically make more light up the ISO so that way there's more light to focus on. Do I open up the iris and go at a higher aperture because you're already really far from the subject, but you still want to keep that those cinematic settings of have that nice bokeh in the back? Do you open up your aperture more? Is that the solution? Or do you just stick with the wide focal length and avoid that loss of that in and out of focus? Well, that's the debate that I was in. And it's a great debate because, a lot of these subjects, or a lot of the times, especially if you're doing freelance, I would say 90% of your subjects or whatever you're filming, unless you're doing food, are moving, right? So they're moving subjects and not necessarily sports where they're moving very fast and cutting and, doing sprints and all that, interval training, or a workout or whatever. Um, you have to be able to know what to go with. And let's say, for example, you have a cinema camera. It's like most of us don't have all these toys that come with it in order to build it to have the flexibility that most of these people have when you have on large production sets. For example, the moving jibs, cranes, the dolly tracks, or even a focus ring puller, a focus puller. Like these things, at least the ones that I've seen, a really cheap one is, it'll run you anywhere close to 1500 and up. I've seen some other ones for like 800 and up. Actually, I think that, yeah, I take the 1500 back. I think I saw one for like 800, almost $900, and it's not even that great of a quality. So if we don't have that, then how do we compensate? And I think that that is, you know, there's two different ways. Either you light the subject differently and you get some help, somebody lighting your subject, because most of the time we lose focus because the subject's not lit correctly. I know it happened to me a lot during a lot of my YouTube videos in the beginning. I would lose focus because I wasn't well lit, or whatever shooting or whatever I wanted to capture wasn't well lit. And let's face it, we all want those cinematic settings, nice bokeh in the back or some variation of that. So it's those things. And it's like, all right, well, let's say I don't want to go super wide and I want to go a little bit more personal. I want to shoot like a little portrait, anywhere between 50 or 85 millimeters. It's like, all right, so if we're doing that, then it's very, especially, and if we're moving, then it's very easy to lose focus on a subject. So a big debate on that. And if anybody's doing any sports, let me know, because I mean, I've researched some things and I always like to YouTube before, even if I kind of know what I'm shooting or what type of business it is or industry it is. There's always a way to do it. Like if somebody asks me to take pictures of a painting, you automatically think, well, there's a painting there, so I'll just take a picture of it. But when you take the picture, you realize the lighting is off or something is not in focus. And you actually Google it and you're like, wait a minute, there's a way to shoot or to take pictures of paintings. Like there's actually a process of how to do it the right way. So that should be a little thing in the background. That's the struggle of shooting backlit. My T3, I hated backlighting. Oh, you mean like shooting into the light? Like your subject is there's like light behind your subject. Oh, dude. I mean, unless I'm going for a specific look, I pretty much don't like to do that. And obviously, I know the T3 is what they call a beginner DSLR, but it's still actually very good though. Like the quality actually comes out really good if you know what you're doing. Um, yeah, man. I usually don't do that. I did it a lot in the beginning, but I don't do it. And I won't mind doing it if I'm lighting the subject a certain way. But yeah, that backlight, man, it's just it's a nightmare. Just you have no idea, especially even some of the weddings that I have been editing lately. It's just you know, they're shooting so much into the like I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make everything very cinematic, kind of like light on and off. I don't know how to call it. There's a specific term for it, but it like escapes me right now. I see what they're trying to do in the videos, but it's like, dude, I could tell that you're just shooting and being like, oh, they'll fix it later in post. Like that's I've done that before. Like you can't tell me that this I have to use warp stabilizer in footage that supposedly you shot on a gimbal. It's like, dude, it's like, why is it so shaky if it's on a gimbal? Either number one, which is most likely you're not balancing it correctly in the beginning, or you just don't know how to move a gimbal because that there is an art to that as well. But you know, this actually sounds more of a rant than anything, but yeah, two things take off from today is that the unsung hero, if you don't have a 70 to 200, you need one. And funny enough, in my taste, even though I haven't had the L series in my hands, I've seen the footage and the pictures from a 70 to 200 L series Canon and this one, the Sigma one. And to be honest, there's not a big difference. And I probably rate this one higher, even if it's a couple of points. And you might think, hey, that's not a lot, but it's literally $1,500 price point difference. So I don't know, man. If you want to spend that extra 1,500 bucks, be my guest. But yeah, so that's just one of the things. I got a couple of different subjects for the rest of the week. This week isn't as occupied as last one, so I'm gonna be getting on my regularly scheduled program, and I got a lot of good stuff. There was some stuff that I was supposed to say, well, that I had for last week, but I'm gonna use it for this week. You know, it's nuts. I'm going to include my daughter in a lot of my stuff now. 'Cause she's a little bit older and she actually has an awesome perspective on things, not necessarily on the live, but just in my content in general. I think the world will benefit from it. Um, oh, Philly, what's going on, brother? I've got my Canon V2 7200 rigged up on a follow focus for my wedding this weekend. Love it. Ooh. Do you have a picture on that on your social media? That'd be dope. I don't know if I've missed it. I was watching a couple of your TikToks and they're actually really, really dope. Yeah, man, there we go. I know the 7200 is like a must on weddings. The only thing is that if you do a continuous shot, just be careful of that. You did your teeth? Oh, good job. Good job. Bye. Um, make sure that do you use two camera? Do you use one camera or two cameras? Because I know that a lot of it is, but you have the follow focus on it, right? Rigged up on a follow focus. Oh man. Oh, which type of follow focus do you have, if you don't mind me asking? And do you recommend any for specific ones? Uh, I know that the 70 to 200 for the weddings is like a must. I know they use it a lot as like a second camera. And there's another thing, like actually editing excuse me, multicam is a beast on its own. I didn't realize how slow my computer was, or the computer that I was using to edit was, until I started editing in multicam mode. I was like, wow. And I wasn't using any. It wasn't in 4K. It was all 1080, and it wasn't raw either. So could tell how much that sucked. But yeah, man. I would like to know what else you're working with, brother. Two cams. It's just a cheap knockoff ring on a tripod plate. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, I think I know exactly which one I'm talking about. I'm trying to think of the name of. Do I have something with their? I don't remember. Is it like a this start with a V? I don't know. But hey man, again, you don't need a crazy amount of equipment to make these things work. If you just know what you're doing, You could play a lot of things off, and especially you, man. I know you know a lot of. I know what you know what you're doing a lot. And you're very technical with with your stuff. So I bet you that that cheap knockoff ring is probably, gets the same use or favors you as much as like somebody else that buys like an industry, couple $1,000 focus puller. But that's the thing. But hey, man, there you go. Awesome, dude. If you ever have like a if you have like a wedding, I don't know if you do highlights as well for your packages, but if you have any of that, man, tag me on it, and I'd like to take a look at it. I'm sure I could learn some things off of you as well that I could incorporate into my editing, especially with weddings, because like I said, I didn't have that much experience before. Um, but the recent jobs that I've been doing have been with the wedding, so it'd be nice to have a fresh perspective. I don't know if you ever heard of the full time filmmaker, but they have a specific like with Parker Welbeck in their course, they have a specific workshop just on weddings, and especially in the editing portion of it. Um, I still have to get all through it, but it's actually opened up my eyes to a couple of different things that I can not just only use on weddings, but also tips for my editing in general as well. I also have a couple of music videos inquiries. I haven't done any music videos since summer of last year, and it's on purpose because I don't really brand myself that way. But the ones that I do have are actually they've gotten a pretty good feedback, and it's mostly like urban. I don't want to say ghetto, but it's like urban, kind of like hip hop slash Hispanic or I would say Hispanic. It's not Spanish. Flow with it. So I mean, if it's a different type of music, I'd actually like to do that a bit more. I feel like that hip hop urban style has been. I think that's the reason I don't market is because especially here in this area, the Northeast, I feel like it's like super saturated. So and honestly, I don't really like making music videos too much. At least my experience. It's just unless it's like a super high end one where everybody knows exactly what they're doing and they listen to me. Maybe it could be a different experience, but as of the ones before, it's not the best thing ever. Is a full time filmmaker course worth it? Um, I bought the one that has everything, which is like it's not just one workshop. It's like because they have like lighting, mastery, and audio. And ticket for me, I actually bought it. They were running a special on it during like the pandemic. So I was like, I saw the special. I'm like, wow, it's really cheap. And I actually bought it. And I'll tell you right now, it's 1000% worth it. I guarantee that not only will it take you, and they're always adding things to these workshops. So it's not like just like a one thing and then you go to these files and that's it. They keep on adding more things and expanding it and making it more modern. Like they recently came out with the how to master a Canon R series. So I thought that was actually pretty dope. And it's 1000% worth it. I guarantee you, you will find hours worth of, you know, or being taught things that you had no idea or that you didn't know about. I guarantee it. And it will 1000% improve your films and your projects and your freelance. I guarantee it. I stand by it. And they make you join this Facebook group, which is actually pretty awesome too, because there's a lot of people, in the same industry. And you can take it as far as you want. But obviously you got to put the work in, and it's a lot of stuff to go through. So, I bought it in 2020, pandemic, it's 2022 summer, and I still haven't gone through the whole thing. So there's a lot of stuff in there. I recorded a hip hop vocalist once, but never shot a music video. I'll stick to weddings and commercials. Ha! Yeah, man. Hey, you know what, man? If you're shooting weddings, you can literally do anything because weddings are the number one most. It's crazy the amount of work you got to put into that. It's literally a workout after you're finished. You know what I'm talking about? It's ridiculous. If you can shoot a wedding, you could definitely shoot a music video, guaranteed, easily, easily. It's all like on the music taste, especially if you like the music. But hey, man, if you don't want to shoot any music videos, um, I feel you on that. and you're shooting weddings and commercials. Hey, dude, I'm telling you, man, tag me one of your commercials. I want to see. I want to see what's going on. I want to see what you have. Um, and I'll do the same as well. But yeah, man, thank you guys for chatting, and I hope you guys had an awesome Monday. The rest of the week is, the rest of the week. Let me know if you guys have any upcoming projects, you have any struggles or anything like that, man. And trust me, believe me when I tell you that we're going through the same thing. Everybody has their own set of setbacks, as you call it, and where else can we handle it or build upon it if it can't be between us creatives and people in our industry? You know what I mean? So yeah, appreciate you guys for always showing love, staying on the episode. Remember, stay tuned for the rest of the week. Got a lot of awesome topics coming up. And membership board, TV signing out. Until next time. Oh, yeah.